Let me be honest with you. A couple of years ago, if you had told someone that Rivian was going to be okay, they probably would have laughed. Not because the idea was ridiculous, but because the numbers at the time made it really hard to argue otherwise. The company was bleeding cash at a pace that made even optimistic investors nervous. The headlines were brutal. The skepticism was loud. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, a lot of people quietly wrote Rivian off as another ebb startup that burned bright, spent big, and would eventually fade out like so many others before it. And honestly, that skepticism was fair. It wasn't cynicism for the sake of it. It was math. But then something shifted. The R2 updates dropped. The Q4 2025 earnings call happened, and in a single trading day, Rivian stock jumped 26%. Not 5%, not 10%, 26% in one day. And when something like that happens, it forces you to stop and pay attention, because markets don't move like that on vibes alone. Something real was underneath it. So I went deep. I pulled the data, read the reports, looked at what they're building, where the money is going, what the product roadmap looks like, and what it all means for the long game. And what I found was not a perfect company. But what I found was a company that is doing a surprising number of things right, at exactly the right time. So here are the 23 things Rivian is doing to survive, scale, and win. And by the time we get to number 23, I think you're going to see this company very differently than you did 5 minutes ago. Let's start with the money, because that's where every survival story either begins or ends. In the fourth quarter of 2025, Rivian cut costs by over $7,200 per vehicle delivered. Read that again, $7,200 per vehicle. That is not a rounding error. That is not an accounting trick. That is a fundamental shift in how efficiently they are building cars, and it is one of the most powerful signals any young EV company can send to the world. Because when your cost per unit starts dropping, it means the chaos of early production is giving way to something that actually functions. It means the factory floor is getting smarter. It means the business is starting to behave less like a startup and more like a manufacturer. And the broader Q4 numbers back that up. Rivian brought in $1.29 billion in revenue. They generated $120 million in gross profit. They reduced their losses beyond what analysts had projected. And they ended the quarter sitting on $6.1 billion in cash. Now, $6.1 billion in cash is not just a number. In this industry, at this stage, that number is oxygen. It buys time. And time, right now, is the single most valuable resource Rivian has. Because you cannot fix what you don't have time to fix. You cannot ramp production you don't have runway to reach. Cash is survival, and Rivian has it. But here's where it gets interesting, because surviving on cash reserves alone is not a business model. The companies that make it long-term are the ones that build revenue streams that don't stop when someone stops buying a car. And Rivian understands this. Their software and services revenue is expected to grow roughly 60% year over year in 2026. 60%. That kind of growth in a recurring revenue category tells you that Rivian is not just thinking about how to sell you a vehicle. They're thinking about the relationship that comes after the sale. The updates, the features, the integrations, the ecosystem. That is how you build a company that compounds instead of plateaus. Zoom out for a second, and the operational picture becomes even clearer. Costs are coming down. Cash is being managed responsibly. Losses are shrinking. And while Rivian is not profitable yet, they are stabilizing, and stabilization is the first step toward scaling. You cannot scale chaos. You can only scale systems, and Rivian is building systems. Now let's talk about the R2. Because this is where the entire thesis either holds together or falls apart. The R2 production ramp is happening in 3 structured phases. The first shift kicks off in Q2. A second shift follows by the end of 2026, and a third shift comes in 2027. That is not a promise. That is a production schedule with defined checkpoints, and there is a meaningful difference between those two things. Rivian expects to deliver around 64,500 vehicles in 2026, with more than 20,000 of those coming from the R2 alone. Think about what that means. The R2 is not a concept anymore. It is entering the world in real volume, and it signals a genuine shift from niche premium brand to scalable platform. Speaking of scale, Rivian has already built 30,000 delivery vans for Amazon. 30,000. That's not a pilot program. That is a commercial operation running at serious volume, and it gives Rivian something most EV startups never have at this stage: stable, predictable revenue from a partner with essentially unlimited demand. And there are plans to develop new versions of these vans with larger battery packs and all-wheel drive capability. Commercial programs like this create a financial floor underneath the consumer business. They smooth out the peaks and valleys. They keep the factory humming even when the consumer market gets unpredictable. And now, the base model R2 is positioned at $45,000. That number matters more than almost anything else in this entire story, because the average new vehicle price in the United States has crossed $48,000, which means the R2 is not just an affordable electric vehicle. It is below the average price of any new car in America. That is the moment Rivian crosses the line from aspirational and expensive to attainable and real. That is the product that opens the door to an entirely new customer base, people who wanted a Rivian but could never justify one. The market just got a lot bigger. And don't let the price tag fool you into thinking they compromised on the experience. The Launch Edition R2 is expected to be a dual-motor, all-wheel drive variant capable of 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds with over 300 miles of range. 3.6 seconds for $45,000. Affordability and excitement are not trade-offs here. They coexist. And that is a genuinely rare thing in this industry. Then look at what the R2 actually is as a vehicle. 9.7 inches of ground clearance, a drop-down rear glass, a flashlight built into the driver's door, which sounds like a small thing until you're camping in the dark and every other car owner is fumbling through their phone, a front trunk, a sub-trunk, ambient lighting, and fast charging from 10 to 80% in about 30 minutes. This is a vehicle designed by people who actually use their cars. It doesn't feel like a spec sheet built by a committee. It feels like something built by people who asked, what do we actually wish our car could do? And then made it. Now, here is where everything starts to shift. Because up to this point, we have been talking about survival, about cash and costs and production ramps and delivery volumes. But survival alone does not build a lasting car company. Survival keeps the lights on. Differentiation is what makes people choose you over everyone else. And the next set of things Rivian is doing are not about staying alive. They are about building something that no one else can easily replicate. Start with the software. Both the R1T and the R1S are genuinely better vehicles today than they were the day they were delivered. Not marginally better, actually meaningfully better. Updates pushed over the air directly to your driveway for free. No dealership visit, no service appointment, no charge. The car improves while it sits in your garage. That is a relationship with a product that didn't exist in the automotive world a decade ago, and most legacy automakers are still struggling to replicate it convincingly. And the hardware supporting those improvements is catching up fast. Rivian has received production RAP1 chips in-house and is entering final validation. This level of compute power is not about what the car can do today. It's about what the car will be able to do 2, 3, 5 years from now. It is the foundation for future autonomy, advanced driver assistance, and the kind of feature expansion that keeps a vehicle relevant long after the purchase date. That compute capability is what will eventually enable hands-off driving experiences, And it's not limited to new vehicles. Improvements are expected to extend to Gen 2 R1 vehicles as well. Then there's the AI assistant, expected in early 2026, bringing natural language interaction with deeper context awareness, calendar integration, messaging, full vehicle integration. This is not a gimmick. This is the car becoming a capable, connected extension of your daily life in a way that feels natural rather than forced. And Rivian listened. When customers pushed back on losing physical temperature controls, Rivian responded with multi-function steering wheel scroll wheels with haptic feedback. That responsiveness, that willingness to hear criticism and actually act on it, is the kind of thing that builds loyalty. Because it tells the customer that their voice matters, that the company is paying attention, that the relationship goes both directions. The charging network is quietly becoming one of Rivian's most underrated assets. Over 930 chargers across more than 140 sites with roughly 98% uptime. That uptime number is critical because the biggest fear anyone has about switching to electric is getting stranded. When your charging network runs at 98% reliability, that fear starts to dissolve. That confidence builds. And confident customers buy, and then they tell their friends. The retail and service footprint is expanding alongside it. Rivian has opened 36 retail spaces and nearly 100 service centers, with a mobile service fleet approaching 700 vehicles. The service center expansion in particular is where they need to keep pushing, because nothing erodes trust faster than a great vehicle you can't get fixed quickly. But the direction is right and the momentum is there, and the market is responding. The R1S became the best-selling EV, over $70,000 across multiple major markets. It became the best-selling SUV of any type over $70,000 in California. Any type, not just electric, all of them. In one of the largest and most competitive car markets in the country. That is not a niche achievement, that is a market signal. People want this vehicle. And if they want the big, expensive one at this scale, there is an enormous appetite waiting for a smaller, more accessible version. Rivian continues to earn strong recognition through leading owner satisfaction rankings, awards for their app experience, and industry accolades for the R1T. These are not purchased endorsements. These are real people who own the product saying it is exceptional. That word of mouth, that organic loyalty, is worth more in the long run than any marketing budget. And then there are the small things. The R2 has 2 glove boxes. This sounds like a footnote, and maybe it is. But sometimes the small, quirky, thoughtful details are what make a vehicle feel alive, what make it feel like someone cared, what make you smile when you discover it and immediately want to tell someone. The car companies that understand this, that the emotional experience of a vehicle is built as much from 100 small moments as from one big specification, those are the companies that build cultures around their products. And Rivian is building that culture. LiDAR is expected to arrive later in production, signaling Rivian's continued commitment to pushing sensing and autonomy capabilities forward over time. This is not a near-term sales pitch. This is a company planting a flag in the direction it intends to go and building toward it consistently. But here is the thing that I keep coming back to. The most important reason Rivian might actually be okay is not the cash on hand. It's not the cost cuts or the production ramp or the RAP1 chips. It's something that almost never shows up on a balance sheet but drives more purchasing decisions than almost anything else. They have built a brand that makes people feel something. When you look at a Rivian, something happens. When you sit in one, something happens. When you drive it down a dirt road with the windows down and the suspension doing exactly what it's supposed to do, something happens that is very hard to explain and almost impossible to manufacture artificially. It is a genuine emotional connection between a person and a machine. And in a world full of vehicles that are perfectly capable and completely forgettable, that connection is everything. My biggest takeaway, after going through all of this, is that the R2 has the potential to become one of the most exciting and accessible vehicles that most people have ever driven. Not just most electric vehicles. Most vehicles, period. It's going to be fully capable, affordable, and designed for people who want to go somewhere, anywhere, in a world that increasingly feels like it's getting more expensive and more complicated and harder to escape. The R2 is an invitation to escape it, and I genuinely believe Rivian figured that out when they designed it. If that plays out the way it looks like it might, the R2 won't just be a successful product launch. It will be one of the most iconic vehicles on American roads. At least until the R3 shows up and changes everything all over again. Remember, adventure is always out there.